Hello dear students, this video is my ninth video for the chapter Final Accounts of Companies, and it is a continuation of my previous video. In my previous video, I have worked out a very important problem in which I have prepared the statement of profit and loss, and for the same problem I will be working out the balance sheet in this particular video. So, before you proceed to watch this video, I will advise you to watch my previous video, that is Final Accounts Part 8, which will enable you to understand the contents of this video better. Let me proceed further now. You all know that as per the revised format, both the profit and loss account and balance sheet are to be prepared in a statement form. In the previous video, I have already worked out the statement of profit and loss for a particular problem. And for the same problem, I'm going to work out the balance sheet now, as I told you earlier. So let me show the problem for which we have already done the statement of profit and loss. So this is what is the problem. So for this particular problem, I have already prepared the statement of profit and loss in my previous video. So let me just show the answer also. So this is what is the solution which I worked out in my previous video. This solution relates to the statement of profit and loss. So first we prepared all the notes to accounts, and then we prepared the statement of profit and loss. So the link for this particular video I'll share along with this video which I'll be doing now. So this is what is a statement of profit and loss. Now, for the same problem, I'm going to proceed with a balance sheet. In the balance sheet, we'll be having equity and liabilities, which will be followed by assets. If you all can recollect the format, under equity and liabilities, we'll be having three main items: shareholders' funds, non current liability, and then current liability, which will be followed by assets. And under assets, we'll have non current assets and current assets. Before we proceed with the main balance sheet, as you all know, we have to proceed with the preparation of the various notes relating to accounts. Okay, so let us proceed with the notes to accounts relating to the balance sheet. Let us start with note 1, share capital. Note 1, share capital. So for the problem, you can refer to the problem which is available in the previous video. Anyway, let me show the problem here also. So this is a problem which we have. So we are starting with note 1, share capital. Okay. And as I used to tell you very often, one main point you have to remember: whichever item is coming in the main information will affect your financial statement only once. That is, it will come either in the statement of profit and loss, or it will come in the balance sheet. So now we are concerned with the preparation of the balance sheet, is it not? So those items which we have not treated in the statement of profit and loss, those items alone you have to identify, and you should take those items to the balance sheet. Now, as I told you, note 1 is for share capital, and whenever we are given authorized capital in the problem, we have to enter the authorized capital. Okay, so in this problem, you are given a limited company was registered with an authorized capital of with an authorized capital of rupees 30 lakhs in equity shares of rupees 10 each. Okay, so we have to record the authorized capital. And apart from the authorized capital, see here, you are given subscribed and fully called up capital. Subscribed, subscribed and fully called up capital, that is 20 lakhs. Okay. Now, let us get along with notes to accounts relating to the balance sheet. Note 1, share capital. Authorized capital is 30 lakhs. This authorized capital, though you show in the outer column, will not be taken into account for totaling purpose. So draw two lines after this. So this amount of 30 lakhs will not take into account for totaling. As you all know, authorized capital is the maximum amount of capital which the company is authorized to raise as per the capital clause of the Memorandum of Association. Okay. So we'll be taking into account only this amount of 20 lakhs. So how this 20 lakhs is given to you in the problem, just have a look at the problem. So you're given subscribed and fully called up capital. So this subscribed and fully called up capital, that only we have to take into account now. So enter subscribed and fully called up capital, which we are entering as 20 lakhs here. And since we have calls and arrears in this problem, calls and arrears will have to be deducted. So from subscribed and fully called up capital of 20 lakhs, deduct 37,500, which is calls in arrears. 37,500 is calls in arrears. It is given in the problem. You can have a look at the problem. Just see the problem. Calls in arrears. You are given this amount, 37,500. Okay. So from the capital, deduct 37,500. Now the balance will come in the outer column. So the balance will be 19 lakhs 62,500. So let me enter that amount, 19 lakhs 62,500. Okay. So this is what is note 1. Let me get along with the next note, note 2. Note 2 is for reserves and surplus. Any reserve that is given in the problem will come under this heading, and you are given general reserve in the problem as 1,25,000. So enter general reserve, and then if you have any profit and loss account opening balance given in the problem, that will also come here. Along with that, you will be adding the current year profit. So let us have a look at the problem again. So in the problem, you are given general reserve, isn't it? So where do we have general reserve? Just have a look at the problem. So we have already entered the general reserve. Where is it given? It is given as the last item in the problem. This 1,25,000 we have already shown under note 2. Apart from this, whatever is the profit balance, opening balance of profit that is available, that has to be taken into account. So what is that amount? Profit and loss account credit. You are given 72,500. It is this particular amount. Okay. So this again will come under note 2. And with that, we'll be adding the current year profit. What do you mean by current year profit? Current year profit is a profit which we arrived at from the statement of profit and loss. So statement of profit and loss is already prepared, isn't it? I told you only this is available in the previous video. So as per the statement of profit and loss, we got the current year profit as 2 lakh 75,000. This 2,75,000 will also be shown under note 2. So let us have a look at note 2 now. General reserve 1,25,000, which was given to us as the last item in the problem. Profit and loss account opening balance, which was already available in the main information of the problem itself. And the current profit, current year's profit, which is available from the statement of profit and loss. So this we have to take into account. Okay. So 72,500, 2,75,000. When we add these two amounts together, how much we'll be getting? We'll just add and see. So when you add these two amounts together, you will be getting 3,47,500. 3,47,500. Okay. From 3,47,500, you will be deducting interim dividend and corporate dividend tax. Interim dividend is already available to us in the problem itself. So you can just have a look at the problem for this. How much is interim dividend? 1,87,500. Let me show the problem to you. Just see here, you are given interim dividend paid 1,87,500. So we are taking that into account, and we'll have to calculate corporate dividend tax. You are given in the problem, provide for corporate dividend tax at 17%. Okay, so this corporate dividend tax at 17% will have to be calculated on this interim dividend of 1,87,500. So if you do that, just calculate and see. If you do that, you'll be getting 31,875. Okay, 1,87,500 is already available in the problem. You are calculating 17% on 1,87,500, which gives you 31,875. So when you add these two amounts together, you can add and see. If you add these two amounts together, you will be getting 5, 7, 3, 9, 1, 2. 2,19,375. Okay, from 3,47,500, if you deduct 2,19,375, you'll be getting 1,28,125. 1,28,125. So you can just do this and see whether you're getting this amount. Now, what will be the total of note 2? The total of note 2 will be 1,25,000 plus 1,28,125. So let us see what will be the total. 5, 2, 1. Then you'll be having 3, 5, 2. 2,53,125. You just add and find out. So what is this 2,53,125? It is note 2. Now let us proceed with note 3, long-term borrowings. As I used to tell you very often, in this particular chapter, you should be very, very familiar with the format of the statement of P&L and the balance sheet also. And you have to know which item will come under which item will come under which heading. Okay, unless and until you are thorough with this, you can never prepare the balance sheet correct, right? So you have to know what are the various items which will appear in the statement of profit and loss, and what are the various items which will come in the balance sheet also. So it is very, very important to be very thorough with the format of the statement of profit and loss as well as the format of the balance sheet. So note 3 we are having now is for long-term borrowings, and usually under note 3 we'll be having long-term borrowings, that is debentures. Okay, we have debentures in the problem. You can have a look at the problem. As per the problem, you are given debentures as 15 lakhs, and that we are entering straight away. That's the only item which will come under note 3. Now let us proceed with note 4, short-term borrowings. So what do you mean by short-term borrowings? Loans that are repayable on demand or within 12 months from the date of the balance sheet are usually classified as short-term borrowings. Example for short-term borrowings will include overdraft or cash credits from banks, loans from other parties, and so on. In this particular problem, we don't have any such item, so short-term borrowings will be nil. So just write short-term borrowings and put nil. Then note 5 is for trade payables. always under trade payables we'll be having trade creditors or sundry creditors and bills payable. Okay, so we have both these items available in the problem. You can have a quick look at the problem again. So you'll be having trade creditors and bills payable. You're given as sundry creditors. These are the two items: sundry creditors, bills payable. So these two items, namely sundry creditors and bills payable, will come under Note 5, that is trade payables. 2,90,000 sundry creditors, 1,67,500 is for bills payable. So let us add these two amounts together and find out the total. The total will be 4,57,500. So 4,57,500 is Note 5. Then Note 6 is for short-term provisions. We don't have any short-term provisions in this problem, so write as short-term provisions and put nil. Note 7. So Note 7 is now for other current liabilities. So what we will have under other current liabilities, you have to know all liabilities which do not come under short-term borrowings and trade payables will come here. Okay. So if you think like that, in this problem, you have outstanding debenture interest, which was given in the adjustment, and again corporate dividend tax, which was given in the adjustment. So one important information I should tell you here: anything that is given in the adjustment will affect your financial statement twice. It will appear once in the statement of profit and loss and again in the balance sheet. Okay, we have already treated debenture interest in the statement of profit and loss, that is outstanding debenture interest. Again, as other current liability, we are showing it here also. So let us see where it is given in the problem. Have a look at the problem here. You are given provide half years, 6 month, half years interest on debentures. So we calculated 6 months interest on debentures, 15 lakhs. Debentures is 6% debentures, isn't it? 15 lakhs is the amount. So 15 lakhs into 6 by 100 into 6 by 12. So how did you get 45,000? It is 15 lakhs into 6 by 100 into 6 by 12. This is what is outstanding debenture interest. And this corporate dividend taxes, the 17%, which is payable now. Okay, 31,875. See, this corporate dividend tax we have already deducted here once. Why? Because it is payable out of profit. Since dividend is payable out of profit, from profit we are making a deduction. Okay. Again, we are treating it here as what? So again, it is being treated here as other current liability. Corporate dividend tax payable 31,875. So now let us see what is the total of Note 7. 5, 7, 8, 6, 7. 76,875 will be the total of Note 7. So with this, all items coming under equity and liabilities get over. Okay, all the notes relating to the items which will come under equity and liabilities gets over with this. Now we have to proceed with the notes relating to assets. So we have Note 8, which is for tangible assets. So under tangible assets, we'll be having assets which are in a tangible form. That is, those assets which can be visibly seen and touched, like fixed assets and all, will come under this. So in this problem, we have plant and machinery 15 lakhs, and we were given the adjustment to provide 10% depreciation on plant and machinery. See the problem. So we are given depreciate, it is here. depreciate plant and machinery by 10%. We have already shown this depreciation in statement of profit and loss once, and again it is coming in the balance sheet. It has to be deducted from plant and machinery. So under tangible assets, plant and machinery 15 lakhs, 10% depreciation, it is 15 lakhs into 10 by 100. So 1,50,000, when you deduct 1,50,000, so that will be giving you 13 lakhs and 50,000. 13 lakhs 50,000. Other than that, we have premises. You can refer to the problem. Furniture and fittings. Premises 16 lakh 50,000. Furniture and fittings 35,000. So apart from this, we don't have any other tangible asset here. So you add and find out the total. Zero 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 5 3 0 3. You add and see, you'll be getting 30 lakh and 35,000. That will be the total of tangible assets. Now we have intangible assets as note 9. What are intangible assets? Assets which are non-physical in nature, which cannot be seen and touched. Such assets are only called as intangible assets. Usually, you'll be having items like patents, goodwill, trademark, copyright, etc. In this problem, we have goodwill. You can refer to the problem. Goodwill is given as 28,750. We are entering it here. Tangible as under intangible assets. Okay. Under intangible assets, we are entering goodwill 28,750. Then note 10 is for non-current investments. So we don't have any non-current investments in this problem. See, actually, the contents of the balance sheet, the various notes, which will come under which heading, all that I very clearly explained in one of my videos, that is final accounts part 3. Okay, so you can refer to that video, which will make you to understand the format very clearly, right? Now let me proceed with note 11. Note 11 is for trade receivables. So under trade receivables, usually we'll be having sundry debtors. Sundry creditors we used to have under trade payables, isn't it? So sundry debtors will be having under trade receivables. Sundry debtors is given to us in the problem as 4,36,000, and then we have to deduct the provision for bad and doubtful debts. I'll just show the problem to you. Just have a look at the problem. How much is given as sundry debtors? You can see where it is given. Here we have sundry debtors. It is 4,36,000. Okay. From that, you have this provision, is it not? Provision for bad and doubtful debts. See this amount. We have already treated this in the statement of profit and loss, which I have prepared in the previous video. Okay, this 4,250, again we have to take to the balance sheet also. So in the balance sheet, what are we going to do now? From sundry debtors 4,36,000, you will be deducting provision for bad and doubtful debts. This is nothing but provision for bad and doubtful debts. Okay, that is 4,250. So you will be getting 4,31,750. So this is note 11. Now let us proceed with note 12, short-term loans and advances. We don't have any short-term loans and advances in this problem. Note 13 is for other current assets. We don't have any other current assets also. Note 14 is for closing stock and inventories. So we have closing stock. You can refer to the problem. Okay. It is given in the additional information. Closing stock is 4,55,000. Right. You can have a quick look at the problem where closing stock is given. So see the problem here. Stock on 31st December 2024 was 4,55,000. So the stock which is given here in the additional information, that is only closing stock. The stock available in the main information will be the opening stock. Okay. So closing stock 4,55,000. It is this amount which will come at a note 14. And note 15 is for cash and cash equivalents. So in the problem you are given cash in hand 1 lakh, cash at bank 1 lakh 99,500. So when we add these two amounts together, the total will be 2 lakh 99,500. This will be note 15. So you can have a look at the problem for cash and cash equivalents. Cash and cash equivalents, which is given to us in the problem. So you have, this is cash in hand, this one, and this is cash at bank. These two amounts only we have shown in the last note which we prepared for the balance sheet, that is note 15. So note 15 comes to a total of 2,99,500. So now we have prepared all the notes relating to the balance sheet, and let us now quickly proceed with the preparation of the final balance sheet. Having prepared the various notes, preparing the final balance sheet is very easy. So when you prepare the final balance sheet, you have to give the heading as balance sheet of such and such company, whatever name you have, okay, as on such and such date, that you have to enter. Okay. Now it will have columns like particulars, note number, and final column is for amount, which will always be in terms of rupees. The main heading will be equity and liabilities, under which we'll be having shareholders funds, where we'll be showing share capital as per note 1 and reserves and surplus as per note 2. We have already prepared all the notes. Note 1 shows you 19,62,500 and note 2 shows you 2,53,125. You can check the answer which you have done already. Then under second heading, you'll be having non-current liabilities. Under non-current liabilities, we'll be having long-term borrowings. That was debentures which we have shown already. Just see here. This is note 3, long-term borrowings 15 lakhs. This 15 lakhs will come here, long-term borrowings. And then under current liabilities, we have already prepared note 4, 5, 6, 7. Note 4, short-term borrowings is nil. Trade payables is 4,57,500. Short-term provisions is nil. Just refer to the notes which we have prepared already. Then other current liabilities is 76,875. Okay. How much is our other current liabilities? Just see here. This 76,875. So all these notes we have already prepared. We're just posting the amounts in the final balance sheet. So the items which will come under equity and liabilities gets over with this. Now we have to arrive at the total. This total is nothing but the total of equity and liabilities. When I say it is the total of equity and liabilities, it is the total of 1 plus 2 plus 3. Okay. So what do you mean by this? It is a total of shareholders funds, non-current liabilities and current liabilities. So you can add all this and check. When you add all these amounts together, you will be getting 42 lakhs and 50,000. 42 lakhs and 50,000. I want you to add and check the amount, okay? Blindly you shouldn't follow it. You should understand and then only you have to follow. So you'll be getting a total of 42 lakh and 50,000 as a total of what? As the total of equity and liabilities. It is a total of all these amounts put together. Okay. Now let us proceed with assets. Under assets, we have non-current assets. Under non-current assets, fixed assets, we have tangible assets. As per note 8, you can have a look at the notes which we have prepared already. 30 lakh 35,000. Intangible assets, note 9, 28,750. Non-current investments, note 10 is nil. Then under current assets, you have trade receivables, which we have prepared already as note 11, 4,31,750. Short term loans and advances, note 12, nil. Note 13, other current assets also nil. Closing stock, note 14, 4,55,000. And cash equivalent. Closing stock is how much? This 4,55,000. Cash and cash equivalent how much? 2,99,500. 2,99,500. So all this we have entered here. Okay. Now we have to add all these amounts together to arrive at the total. So total of assets is nothing but total of 1 plus 2. Okay. You just add these amounts and find out. So you will be getting a total of 42 lakhs and 50,000. 42 lakhs and 50,000. So what was the total you got for equity and liabilities? That is 42 lakh and 50,000, isn't it? And what is the total you are getting for assets? So that is also 42 lakh and 50,000. So our answer is correct. So this is the way in which you will be preparing the balance sheet.
Dear students, to understand a chapter better, you have to work out as many problems as you can on your own. I hope you are clear with how to prepare a balance sheet now. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and pass it on to your friends also. Please don't forget to give your comments which will enable me to post further videos according to your expectations. Thank you dear students for watching this video.